Yes.
And like I'm like, damn, thanks for letting me know that's your
Hey, awesome.
Yes.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go to my car. Love
You're
you.
good. You're good. You're good, bro. Oh my God. You're good, bro.
You too, brother. Oh, mango. Mango and strawberry.
Mangoes. Hey, real quick, tell a fact about how mangoes are healthy for you.
Any organic fruit.
Exactly.
You can have as much as you want of this. And you're good.
It's not people. Do you agree that people think that sugar is bad and they think that fruit is bad because they think that sugar is fruit, but fruit is a different type of sugar?
Well, not all sugars are built the same. So even like I was curious and I was like, I asked a diabetic. I go, hey, real quick. If I drank a Diet Coke.
Hey, 1 second. Let me turn down the volume real quick of this place. Or wait, introduce yourself. Introduce yourself.
I'm Blake Bilder. I'm a God-fearing child of God, first and foremost.
Okay. Before we start everything, how much time do we have? Like, honestly, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes? Give me a time range.
Yeah, I got a solid 20 minutes.
Okay, cool. We can do a lot in a solid 20 minutes. Okay, so did you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'll reintroduce myself, but my name's Blake Bilder. I'm a God-fearing man, blessed and highly favored child of God. And I used to say like Blake Bilder, the UFC fighter, but that's not who I am. It's just what I did, And but first and foremost, I'm a child of God.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's so deep. Okay, so Blake, I've gotten to know you just over the past couple of months, slowly, but every time it's been very deep. And so I'm just gonna throw out some words to start. What is the word wisdom? What does that relate? Like the word wisdom, what is that? How do you feel about that word? What do you want to share?
Yeah, I like this. Yeah, so wisdom to me is I've heard somebody say that, a smart man will make a mistake and learn from it, but a wise man will learn from the smart man. So
Okay, can you repeat? Okay,
a
can
wise
you repeat
man,
that again? Yes.
a wise man will learn from others' mistakes, is what it's saying. A fool repeats the same mistakes over and over. A
Wow.
smart man makes a mistake and learns from it, but a wise man learns both from the fool and the smart man, and decides
Wow.
not
Okay.
to make the mistake at all.
That's amazing. So can you share an experience in your life where that has, if you can think of an experience that has happened or you've experienced that type of wisdom?
Yeah, I got more like a kind of like a funny story. It was just like in
Absolutely.
Georgia. It was in Georgia in 2013, and I was asking my coach Byron Stone. He was like such a stud, like black belt in jiu-jitsu, black belt in judo, and he was a police officer. And I asked him, I go, hey Byron, hey coach, how do I get out of a triangle? He goes, now Blake boy, let me tell you something. And I never want you to forget. He goes, an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. And I was like, okay. And he goes, don't get put in one, don't have to learn how to get out of one. I was like, all right, thanks, coach. And then he showed me how to get out of a triangle. But actually the way that he showed me how to get out of a triangle is the way that I was able to secure a triangle on a couple guys to win big fights as an amateur and as a pro. So it's kind of funny that day rang true because any other coach, you ask a question, they're just gonna answer it for you. But him, he gave me like a little riddle, so it made it stick.
I love that. And don't quote me on this, but I believe, I think in one of your UFC fights or the Ultimate Fighter, did you choke someone out or you did a submission for a win?
Yeah, for Dana White's Contender Series.
That's
beat
okay.
Alex Morgan.
So you were on the Contender Series. Like, how long? Like, what's the experience? Do you live there, or like what's that experience like?
No, you don't live there. basically I got the news. I just written down my goals. So like 20 minutes before. So I figured like it was like an act of God and it was etched in stone that I was going to win that fight and get into the UFC. So when my manager called me up 20 minutes after I wrote all my goals down, signed it, dated it and everything, saying that was my
Wow.
definite chief aim and purpose. I was just, he was like, hey, we got a fight for you. I was like, when is it? He's like, in a month. I was like, send the contract. And he's like, it's for Dana White's Contender Series. I go, perfect, send the contract. He goes, do you want to know who it's against? I was like, I don't care who it's against. Send the contract right now. Boom, sent it over, got it done. And then what they do is to have you go out there like 2 or 3 weeks prior to get like a promo thing going, to get like a little backstory on you, get pictures of like.
Is that in Vegas? Is that in Vegas?
Yeah, that's out in Vegas. Yep. And then the UFC is so cheap. So the UFC was like supposed to give you like $250 for food. They never gave me like the $250 for food.
I heard it's pretty cheap, but anyways.
Yeah, and so they're supposed to give you like money for food, and then I was just like, hit my manager up, was just like, hey, like they never gave us like the money for food, like can I get that? He goes, oh yeah, let me talk to some people, and it never got handled, and then they book everybody at the Golden Nugget, and then get you to go do all your medicals out there, so you're licensed and good over in Vegas for the next. I think your medicals are good for 1 year, so you get all that stuff done. They take care of that, which is nice. And then fight day.
And then fight day.
and then fight day. You just come correct, you know, and that's what we did. Yeah.
Okay, so you are building. I see you as like a superhero. What
I appreciate that.
What would your superhero name be to inspire children and kids, and what, you know, what legacy do you want to leave for, you know, the children? And yeah, what would be your outfit like, and just your traits and your powers? Because I know you got a lot of them.
That's a good question. I think it would be built on more humility. So I think it would just be like more of like just that average outfit. There wouldn't be a cape. It wouldn't be like anything above and
Wow.
beyond, but it would just be almost like the most average person. It's almost like in Lord of the Rings. You know, I haven't watched the movie in a while, but I know that like the basis is like it takes like the most, you know, like everybody thinks that they have the power when they have the power of the ring, that they can rule and be a trusted and faithful ruler. But a lot of people obtain the power and abuse it. It's almost like Conor McGregor. You know, he had the ring. He had the ability to make such a powerful change in other people, and he was doing it for a while. And somewhere along the line, he sold himself short and corrupted his character and tarnished his integrity. And that's something that I think is so important for all of us to realize, that, you know, it's like what we don't realize is it takes like the most humble person to be able to make the correct decision in a tough situation, to make the right decision when you can get paid off or you could get away with it, you know. So character and stewardship and integrity stands true, and the truth will set you free and set everybody else free, you know. And I think that would be.
Can we stop real quick? And what you said is, you know, the truth will set you free and set everyone else free. So I say this a lot too, but it's so much deeper than just those words. Can you go into real quick, like, to set yourself free? Like we talking the Holy Spirit? We talking like what are you talking, like setting yourself free? Like what is that for you?
Yeah, so that's a good question, right? Because like a lot of people go to like church or inside like an established church that is a denomination and like and whatnot, and where a lot of people get hurt or church hurt or spiritually bankrupted is they might have trusted a person and that person let them down, so now they're hurt, you know, and they're in disbelief, you know. And really what it is
Attachment, right?
yeah, we just get codependent on and want to believe in somebody else so bad, but that's also idolatry and false worship over somebody else, you know. So the thing that rings true is like you can you can set yourself free by living in absolute truth, where, you know,
Mm,
what do you have to be afraid of if you're always being completely honest? You
mm.
know, if you're just upfront and honest with everybody, you
And
know.
like you're speaking of like the little white lies we even tell to ourselves, you know?
Totally, totally. You know, I think a lot of people get a misconstrued conception of Jesus, even, you know, because they'll
Oh,
they'll be like,
yeah.
oh, the church, or the people in the church, or this pastor, or this girl, or this guy, and I'm just like, yeah, that has nothing to do with any of that. Like those people are human,
Okay.
but Jesus, it was like all he did was go around and help people, and he didn't harm or hurt anybody. And even when he was held in front of a crowd and they had a well-known criminal and him, they chose him over the well-known criminal in that town. And they're like, what? And even one of the rulers at the time, he goes, what has this man done? And they're like, oh, he blasphemes, he says that he's God. That's blasphemy. And 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 he willingly accepted his crucifixion, and while being crucified in one of the most brutal ways, forgave everybody.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
mean, could you
so
imagine? Like,
no.
I sometimes get hurt by somebody's statement, or I feel somebody wrongs me, and I'm like, I'm not forgiving them, or you know, like we get these like little resentments, and a whole town of people has wrongfully convicted you. You've done nothing wrong. All you've done is gone around and helped people, and they choose to murder you for that. Interesting.
Yeah, and that's, yeah, it's wow, it's incredible. And that's why that's why it's time again, and it's time for like these warriors to step
Well,
into their leadership.
yeah, it's time for the truth to come out. And a
Yeah.
lot of things are happening. Like, I don't care about anybody's political beliefs, you know. Like what I care about is absolute truth. And there's a lot of truth being exposed, and there's a lot of people mad because a lot of people were profiting off of off of the lies being told, and people have corrupted their character, and people have lost their integrity. You know, when they have the chance to do something right, they don't, because they know that they'll profit heavily off of it. And we have to get as much of that away from us. You know, we have to make sure as a culture that yeah, we obviously are looking to have capital gains and profit and do well financially, but not at the expense of others. You know, we have to make sure that we're getting back to the basics, you know, which is just living in truth, doing the right thing when nobody's watching, and building a culture around that. You know,
Doing the
so
right thing when no one's watching. This is another like statement that people throw around that's so incredibly like layers beyond layers between that in that
yeah.
statement. I just wanted to bring that up. Like literally, it's so deep. Anyways, okay.
Yeah, and like by no means am I perfect. I
Exactly.
make so many mistakes like all the time.
Exactly.
I'm so far from perfect I can't even see straight.
Dude.
But I'm willing to reflect on my day and see if I had been selfish, self-centered, dishonest, and try to correct those things. Pay attention to the things that I've done right in the day, so I can keep building on that. But also recognize where I had been wrong, and then if I had been wrong to anybody that day, try to make it right. You know what I
Amazing.
mean?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Everything you say it resonates.
You know, I think if everybody did that, you know, like just took an evaluation of their day and just paid more attention to having a moral upstanding, like life would be so much better. You know, we
Yeah,
have we
but
have rules in place, but
exactly. There's so much
but
programming and so much. The Matrix is it's 99% of the world of everything we see around us is really completely fake. So the 1%, the Holy Spirit that flows through everyone that flowed through Jesus, that spirit, it's here. It's just like it's silent, but when you tap into it, it speaks, and
what do
it's
you feel?
hidden.
What do you feel like the Holy Spirit is to you? Like when that flows through you, what do you feel? What is that feeling that you're having.
Well, okay, this is how much time you got? I just want to make sure we're good on time.
Oh, we got time.
For
What do you think it is to you?
the Holy Spirit, I always got time.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, give me a second. What is the Holy Spirit to me? I was gonna ask you earlier what Jesus was to you, but we'll get back to that.
I believe it's absolute truth.
Yeah. So the Holy Spirit is this divine flow of this frequency, this frequency that is beyond time and space, that runs through every single galaxy, every single universe. This frequency, this Holy Spirit, it's like Mother Nature, it's the earth, it's the she, and then Jesus, God is the he, it's the Father. She is this when she flows through you, it's this ultimate love, and everyone expresses it in their different passions and creativities. But when it's not flowing through you is when we are in the worldly pleasures of life, of the sin of the lust is a big one. You hear, that's why I said Hollywood, the hills burning down, like, no, literally, like, the destruction is happening, like, everything is burning down because, like, the Holy Spirit is rising. And not for say, I heard something the other day, like, I'm all about Jesus, but the doctrination of the church is all about the doctrination of the church. They've incriminized Jesus as this man that all of his prophets were like people who went through hell, you know what I'm saying? And they all turned their lives around. Like, Jesus is this man that walked this earth and did miracles. Now, can I say, is Jesus physically, his body is going to come back on this earth, or is it indifferent, like, am I going to come through as like one of the prophets? You know what I'm saying? Like, they're coming through different bodies, and also, wow.
Yeah, like different shape, fashion, and form is what I've
Yeah.
heard.
And it's
Yeah.
like these are the prophets. These are the superheroes of the world. But when we become so big that we're gonna look like we're the enemies, that's what they're gonna try to make us look like we're the enemies. They're gonna put so many spells. I mean, spelling is already a spell. Casting words are spells. When you spell anything, a spelling word. You're casting
Yeah, I've
words.
heard
Words are vibrations. Words are frequencies. So if they put this in the music, everything in Hollywood, our kids, there's 5-year-old kids singing, yeah, bitches, hoes, sex, money, drugs, you know what I'm saying, in their mind, playing shooty games all day. My friend just told me the other day, get this is horrible. These two 7-year-old kids would listen to this rap music over and over again, and then it hypnotized them. These two kids went to their elementary school and killed like all these kids. This music
Yeah, I mean,
hypnotized them.
they
Hypnotized them.
say just from studying like the mind, because I wanted to get a better understanding of why I did what I did and other people do what they do. They say, give me a child 0 to 7 and I'll show you the man for the rest of his life, because
Yeah, they're a
the
sponge. They're a sponge.
indoctrination of what happens to the subconscious mind from age 0 to 7 is pretty, is like pretty heavily programmed. That's when it's pretty set in stone. However, as an adult, you can reprogram, and it's based on habit and repetition. So repetition is the father of learning. And what we have to do, that's why as an adult you have to unlearn just as much as you have to learn. And
Exactly. And a lot of like my older generation, my grandparents, there's the surrender to that will never, they'll never get there.
it's interesting because like I feel like when I received the Holy Spirit and like when I pray to God, and ever since I became a believer at 20, that's when I would get chills. I would get like this electrical like feeling going through my veins, and I would feel so good. And I felt like, yeah, like that surrendering process is surrendering what I think I know and allowing God's will to enter versus what my natural instincts are. And that still happens today. Like I'm in sobriety, and naturally my first instinct is like, not all the time, it's been pretty far removed, but when times get really tough sometimes, my go-to is like, man, a drink sounds nice, or like you look for those comfortable vices, or you seek
Yeah.
those 7 deadly sins, like if you're overeating, the gluttony, if
Yo,
you're
man, that's a
if
big
you're
one. That's a big
yeah,
one.
if you're looking to you know sexualize, like porn is a really
Porn is
really
one of the
bad thing.
worst. Well,
It's worse than people think.
Can we stop here? Can we stop
And
here real quick?
I haven't watched porn in years, but it still doesn't mean that I don't battle with lust.
Mm.
It's just, like I'm no better than anybody that does watch porn. However, I'm making I'm making a valiant effort and I have an awareness that this is not good, because it what it does is it totally makes me focus on just like the penetration points, and I dehumanize the opposite sex, or like whatever you're into, same sex, opposite sex, but it makes you dehumanize that person. And what porn does is it takes away the face and it just focuses on penetration, and
Mm,
that's why it's so dangerous. So
okay.
whatever you're into, you're opened up to a realm where it's such a higher probability that you're going to sexualize and disrespect the next person that you see and meet.
Okay. Okay. Hold on. Okay, now can I interrupt? Okay, so this is so deep. Okay, so what exactly you're saying, I want to bring it into a spiritual essence too. So this lust, this point. So me personally, this is crazy because I told you my story. I've been a stripper for 13 years. And now I'm glad
Yeah.
that
Yep.
that we're on the Zoom right now. But anyways, this lust, this
Me too.
energy. This energy is Lucifer's energy that is sucking your Holy Spirit out of you. Every time you lust and you watch this porn, it's not, it's the feeding, they're feeding, so when when you like come and you have these orgasms off of this energy, they suck that energy dry out of you. Now
Yeah.
there's like, I'm learning slowly because like, I'm very like, I'm not, next time I have sex is when I'm getting married, when I'm getting married in the forest. But like, what I'm talking about is like, when you do like actually like pure love, pure, and you can, I'm not really like the masturbation thing, I'm not really into that as well, but when you do all these things,
Yeah, I
you
don't
really,
at
this
all.
vibration, now this vibration can create a child, right? This is the
Yep.
highest vibration we can tap into, and they've created into this lustful, they're sucking this creative, this powerful energy. So when you actually can do like these, they say like these sexual like kind of connections to the Holy Spirit, like everything's pure, your mind is clear, and you're just focused on like really like connecting with the love within your body.
Yeah, it's interesting because a lot of people are having unprotected sex. Like nobody really uses condoms anymore. It's not really promoted as much as what it used to be, because almost all girls that I know are on birth control.
That's
So
so bad for you. That's so bad for you.
it's so bad. And then if a girl misses her birth control and gets pregnant, well, no big deal, because I can just go to Plan B and kill it. And
It's all the mindset.
so what happens is there's the biggest genocide that's ever happened that nobody knows about, and people try and hush it and sweep it under the rug. However,
Like with fetuses.
yeah, well, I mean, even upon like you having the baby, semen goes in and fertilizes, like in the embryo. That baby is that baby is being born. Like our birthday is really 9 months before what it is,
I
before
heard that.
conception.
Okay, I
Well,
heard
I
that.
mean, that's when me and you and everybody were little sperms inside of an embryo, and we were brought into this world 9 months later, however many months later. And and it's so sad to see so many girls that and they use the excuse like, oh, what if a girl gets raped, I should have da 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 da. And I don't want to get political, but the chances of that are so far and few. And really it is like a satanic luciferic ritual to like go get pregnant. And then it just happened to my buddy. He wanted to keep the baby, and the girl went over to Mexico and got rid of it. And
Dude, you're tripping me out right now.
it's so sad. Like I was supposed to be an abortion. My mom went to the clinic, and then thank God thank God
Thank
that there
God.
was people in front of that building that were like that talked my mom out of it. My mom was like, I can't do it. I just gotta have the kid. And like my mom was not in a good situation. So people were like, oh well, I'm not ready. It's like, you'll never be ready. My mom was a single mom living in a trailer park with it. I had an older brother. My dad was an abusive alcoholic who was always in and out of jail. and he got her pregnant, and he got another girl pregnant like 3 months, like 2 or 3 months before her. Like, she was not in a good situation. However, she had me, and then, and thank God, I'm like, it's a miracle that I'm alive, and now there's just this big plight for population control, and there's plenty of room for people. We're not overpopulated. Like, it's such a lie that we're being told, and we're being programmed to believe certain things, and it's being indoctrinated in us. So it's just interesting, and you know what? Cat Williams said it last year, but the truth will come out, and the truth is coming out, and people are upset about it, and people are moving out of the country, and it's to save their butt. Like, people are getting their shows taken
Big time
down.
people. Yeah, big time people.
Big time people, like your favorite actor's favorite actor, and really all it is like, you cannot get attached to these people. You cannot get attached to these rappers and these artists.
You know what I said to someone the other day? Okay, so for Carmela's speaking, she had Cardi B speak for her, right? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So now think about this. I said, I go and I listen to Cardi B's music. Let's go listen to the music. Money, sex, drugs, hugs, bitches. I'm like, this woman is speaking for our president.
Is she the WAP girl? Is that Cardi B WAP?
I'm not sure, but it's like
I don't
like
know.
another Nicki Minaj. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's all the same. It's all the same message. It's
And
all the same message.
she has these, Hollywood stars under a contract where they can't speak, but doing satanic rituals for, Hollywood, of course.
Yeah, and you know what? It's been going on since like the dawn of time. Like, even I read the Bible in 13 days. I read it 8 hours a day every day for 13
What?
days. Yeah.
Wow.
So I read the New Testament backwards from Revelations to Matthew, and then I read the Old Testament from Genesis. I always forget the last book of the Old Testament, but I read it to the Old Testament all the way through. And in the Old Testament, they would sacrifice children in this like cast iron like statue like thing, and they would burn the babies inside of it, and they would heat, and it was cast iron, so they would heat it up, and they would sacrifice children to it. It was really brutal, and all these and you know what? All the trusted servants of that God appointed eventually became corrupt, and would erect statues of Baal, which is like Beelzebub. They would erect Asherah poles, which is like this lady with like 6 arms or whatever. But what happened is the more power that they gained, right? The ring, they would start gaining power from the ring. They're being trusted, and eventually, what happened is they would all fall into a vice, one of the 7 deadly sins, and they would corrupt the content of their character, and they would start erecting these false idols, and I mean, it happened with like the golden calf. It happened with so many incidents. I'm honestly an amateur on the Bible, but when I read it, I think a lot of people think that I'm like very religious, and maybe I am, but I was just seeking truth, and when I read the Bible, I read it as though, okay, I didn't read it like, oh, this is all true. I read it with a skeptical mindset every day when I would read it. And then I would point things out. I'm like, oh, I don't know about this. And then I would reread it. And I go, oh my gosh, whoa, I read it incorrectly. It's actually like this. And so it's interesting, it's like, it was cool. I didn't think that our talk would be about this, but like I have a lot of like hidden battles that I face, and I suffered like really truly suffered with like depression and like just low self-esteem, and I would suffer from that, and God is so good, and when I'm close with God, all that I feel just dissipates, and evaporates.
Amen.
And I feel like when the further away I get from God and from truth, it's almost as though I'm living such a vaporous existence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if I was gonna send a message, it's just like, I'm not telling you what to believe, but I am telling you to to believe, to find faith. It doesn't have to be what I believe. However, I would search for truth. I think we all deep down, instinctively, intuitively are searching for truth, because people get hurt. All the people that I know get hurt when they feel as though that they've been lied to, that they've
Oh,
been duped,
100%.
that they've
Yeah.
been led on, that they've been led
Victim.
astray, that and you know what, and you can end up a victim. And sometimes
It's
you know
hard.
what, it's tough, because you put all your trust in all these other people, and trust in people is always going to let you down. It's just,
Mm.
I have I was just talking about Tekashi 6ix9ine the other day. I was like, I seen a thing. I go, oh, this guy just got put on house arrest or whatever, and it's like, oh, it looks like he lost almost all of his wealth, and it doesn't look like he's doing so hot. And a friend of mine was like, yeah, I think he pled guilty to a pedophilia case. And I was like, no way, because I was thinking about dyeing my hair his color, because it looked so cool. And she was like, no, I don't think I would go that route. And I was like, no, I don't know. He's got like such a crazy vibe, and it's like, and then we looked it up. Yeah, pedophilia with a 13-year-old, with with the intent to perform sexual acts with a 13-year-old. I don't know whether he did or didn't. I didn't look into it too much, but he pled guilty to a 13-year-old, and it's just brutal.
Blake, you're speaking my language right now. That's like that's all I want to do is I want to go undercover and literally like find all these motherfuckers. But anyways, that's a
Yeah,
whole
and,
other topic. But
yeah, and you
holy
know what?
shit,
That's a dangerous route to go too,
I
because
know. But
when you start realizing what's going on, you realize I was thinking, I was like it's going on all around me all the time. I live in Orange County, California, and I guess it's highly prevalent, but I've never seen it anywhere.
yeah,
I wouldn't say anywhere, but I feel personally that I've never witnessed anything like that. And I've lived a lot of life, but that's how like secretive it is, or maybe I just don't see the signs. I don't know. It's super sad, and it trips people up, because like sometimes it happens in, religious settings, and then people go, oh, well, hey, look at this. And one thing I know is I can't change anybody else. I'm not in control of anybody else's decisions or feelings, but I am in control of mine.
mm,
I can choose how I respond, and I'm in control of my choices and my actions. So I think the more that we take extreme ownership and have 100% responsibility and do not play the victim card and seek absolute truth in our life, I think the more free that we're going to be, and we're going to set the example to other people to let them know that, hey, it's okay to authentically be yourself, and
yeah.
that will set you free as well.
I love that. I love that. Okay, I know that you have to go and I have to go
Yeah.
too. Let's see. I just want to say thank you so much. Yeah, I always like to have this is number 20. How do you feel about the number 20? This is
I feel
podcast
that's
20.
beautiful. That's great.
Yeah, yeah, I'm super grateful. But yeah, it just was perfect. You have such a beautiful soul, and I just like I said, like I just know there's something in you, like the legacy, that you are going to leave, that you're in the process of leaving. I don't know if we have enough time for that, but like this man right here, like the legacy I see in your eyes, I see in your soul. Like I said, when I check someone out, it's like I really kind of listen to their voice. I look at what they're posting, how they're talking. I'm like, okay. And then it's like the soul, and that's what really caught my eye about you, is like your soul. And then like the more I got to talk to you, is like this boy's got a prophecy to fill, obviously. You know, like
Totally.
we want to kind of downplay ourselves, but
Yeah.
you're a warrior and you're here to fill a prophecy. And so I think that that's just incredible, and you're just so hardworking and you're doing amazing things.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure finally getting to
And
make it happen.
it's
We've been
perfect
working at it for
timing.
a little bit,
Perfect
but
timing.
God's timing is always perfect, and it's such a blessing talking to you and just being able to work with you and watch you grow. And it was never any judgment on my end. Like you're like, hey, I'm going and doing this, and like low key, I'm stripping over here, and it's just like, hey, like who am I to judge? Like at the end of the day, I just want you to be the best version of yourself that you can be, and then realize your own power and your own strength, and truly love yourself enough to walk away from that, and never have to feel like you have to do that to make money. And you know, and that's been the beautiful part about watching you grow and being a part of your journey is you get afforded that opportunity to live out your dream, and you're out in Thailand doing that right now. And if nobody said it to you, uh, I'm really really proud of you, and I love you, and you have such a pure soul, and I'm really grateful that I was somebody that you thought highly of, that you felt could guide you and help you along the way into where you are right now. You know, so blessings to you and your path, and I pray that you just stay on the up and up, and God keeps continually blessing you.
Wow, thank you so much too. I love you too, brother. Brother.
Yeah, happy Valentine's Day, by the way.
I was just thinking that. That's insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Real quick to end it. So
Yeah.
we've been speaking about the Holy Spirit, Jesus. You know, Valentine's Day. There's a deeper meaning. What does Valentine's Day mean to you? Because it's all about love. Like short. You know, whatever. Just, I'm curious.
Yeah, I think Valentine's Day is I think it's like the greatest day to just remind everybody, you know, because love is patient, love is kind. You know, I don't know the whole verse, but
Yeah.
the way the Bible talks about love is really beautiful. It's you know, it doesn't hold any it's not like making a checklist of like you did this and did this. You know, it's just purely loving somebody, and loving yourself as you are currently, with nothing to accomplish, nothing
Mm,
to achieve. And that's the reminder for the day. You know, it's just to be, it takes zero effort to be kind to people, and to just show love, and be a good person.
beautiful.
Yeah.
And what time is it there? 5:30, 6:30?
Yeah, 6:50.
6:50. Okay, I'll let you go. Hey, I'll speak to you soon, okay?
All right, sounds good. God bless.
God bless.